Good morning, Dirga. Welcome. So let us wait for a few minutes so that others can join, and then we'll start this lab. Welcome, Harshit. Welcome, Kishan. Welcome, all of you. Good afternoon to all. Fine. So we'll start the lab now. So in the previous lab, we had discussed basic COCOMO model, right? All of you. We had gone through example as well as details about all the basic things, different types of software that you can have. You can have, let us say, organic, then semi detached, and embedded. Then you are having different COCOMO models, indexing, basic COCOMO model. And so those things we had done in the previous lab, right? Okay, let me share the screen so that you can recall. Thank you so much for the response, Abhishek. Okay, so this thing we have discussed in the previous lab. And these are the formulas for basic COCOMO model. So if you want to find out effort, if you want to find out time required to build a software, if you want to find out how many persons will be required per month, so that you can find out based on all these formulas. And whenever in exam this kind of sum is asked, make sure that don't forget to mention its unit. My unit of effort is percent month, unit of time is months, and percent required, that is same. Effort is percent month, time is month. So you can say that number of persons, month will be cancelled. So you can say that persons will be there. So number of person required to build that software. So unit of required, persons, number of persons, time, months, effort, person, month. Fine. So that is okay. Fine. So we had also seen some sums. Fine. So now what we'll discuss. Uh, One more thing that you need to analyze, that here with this basic COCOMO model, what we are doing, we are only considering KLOC. Fine. So all the things like effort, person required, time, all these things are calculated based on only single thing. We are considering only one thing, that is line of code. Fine. So you can say that these estimates are rough estimates. It's not that much accurate. So if you find out little bit more accurate values or estimations, then you can go with intermediate model. And there is intermediate COCOMO model. Now in this, you are along with KLOC, along with line of code, you are also considering few more things, right? So that you can have more detailed or little bit accurate analysis or estimations. And so you are not only considering KLOC, but also some other factors. Right? So that's why intermediate model is going to provide you some kind of more detailed estimations or more little bit more accurate estimations compared to basic model. Right? So just a minute, let me just go through the things that we had done. I think we had seen single sum only. Let me just check it out. We need to analyze one more thing also. Okay, one more thing I would like to add. Just a minute. Let me just share the screen. So this sum we had discussed. And one more thing, that is, for example, based on the type of software, the estimation that you will get will be different. For example, if you are having here in this sum, we had considered the basic COCOMO model. Thus, the difference is type of software is changed. We have also considered the same LOC for both the sums. Same number of line of codes we had considered, just the type is different. And you can say that the estimations that you are getting, effort, time, person required, both are also different. Based on just, if you just change the type of software, then the answers will be also different. Why? Because in organic kind of software, it is size is small and other kind of things. Based on those kind of things, you can say that it is require a very less effort, less time, and less number of person. Whereas semi-detached model or semi-detached type of software, you need a little bit more experienced person, and you need a little bit more efforts and all. Fine. So you can simply say that your effort, time, and person will be more in semi-detached compared to organic. Fine. So as you change the type of software, your answer will also get changed. And so that is the thing that we had discussed in the previous lab. Now in this lab, we are going to discuss intermediate COCOMO model. Okay, so first of all, let us try to understand the basic things about this intermediate COCOMO model, and then we'll discuss with respect to one sum. So in basic, we already had discussed that in basic COCOMO model, we are just considering only one thing, and that is line of code. And based on only that line of code, we are calculating effort, we are calculating time, we are calculating number of person required. Now that is giving you rough estimations. Now, if you want a little bit more accurate analysis, or if you want to have a little bit more accurate estimations, then you can use this intermediate model. And so here with intermediate model, basic introduction is given. Like basic COCOMO model assumes that the effort is only the function of line of code. That means if you want to calculate effort, it only depends on one thing, that is line of code. And some constant evaluated according to the different software system. That is, these are the constants which are based on type of software. And so you are having four constants here, A, B, C, D. And for organic, semi-detached, and embedded, all constants value will differ. Now, that is about COCOMO, basic COCOMO, sorry. Now, however, in reality, you cannot say that based on only KLOC, you will get the kind of appropriate estimations. You also need to consider other things. Right? So in reality, no system's effort or schedule, like time that we have calculated, can be solely calculated based on line of code. And for that, various other factors are also dependent, or other factors also matters, like reliability of that software, how much experience required to build that software, then which kind of capabilities required for that software. So all these things are also mattering. Fine. So these factors are known as cost drivers. Fine. So let us say reliability, experience, capabilities, and other factors. These are called cost drivers. Fine. So along with KLOC, you are also considering these cost drivers or factors in intermediate model. And these factors known as cost drivers and intermediate model utilizing 15 different cost drivers. Fine. So all the things, let us say these different 15 cost factors are there, cost drivers are there, and in this intermediate COCOMO model, we are considering these different 15 cost drivers. So along with line of code, you are also going to consider all these 15 cost drivers. And that is the reason that you can say that compared to basic COCOMO model, intermediate is going to provide you a little bit more accurate estimations. Why? Because here with intermediate, you are not only considering a line of code, but also these cost drivers. Right? So which kind of cost driver? So first is product attributes. Product. These are the factors that you are considering, like required software reliability extent. Up to which extent you want that software should be reliable. It should be more reliable, it should be, let us moderate reliable, like that. In size of application database. What is the size of application database? Then complexity of the product, whether it is simple, whether it is intermediate or more complex. Then hardware attributes also we are considering. So runtime performance constraint, let us say runtime, which kind of constraint you want. Let us say whenever you are running the software at the time, which kind of constraint will be required and which kind of constraint you are going to ignore. Then memory constraints, then volatility of virtual machine environment, whether you want virtual machines or not. If yes, then up to what volatility you are going to use it. Then required turnover time or turnabout time. Right? So whenever you are using any software, how faster you want the response using that software. Then personal attributes, which is totally based on developers, you can say, or the team, number of persons included or part of your team, part of the software. So analyst capability, software engineering capability, applications experience, virtual machine experience, programming language experience. So these are the personal attribute that you are considering, which should be there in your teammates or the people who are part of that software or part of that team, project team. Then project attributes, like use of software tools, application of software engineering methods, and required development schedule. These are the different project attributes that you are considering. Fine. So total 15 such kind of cost drivers you are considering along with line of code. Fine. So that you can have a little bit more accurate estimations compared to basic model. Fine. So whenever we are going to see one sum at the time, you will be having a kind of clear idea that how these cost drivers are considered. And based on its importance, you can have the values, like let us say cost drivers. These are those different 15 cost drivers that we have discussed. And with respect to its important, whether it is very important, very low, or let us say very low, low, nominal, high, very high, based on its category, you can say, or type, you can say, you are going to consider its value. For example, if you are saying that whichever project you are having, in that project or in that software, the reliability that you want is very low. What you can say, for that cost driver, the value will be 0.75. If you are saying that reliability that you want for that software is very high, what you can say, the cost driver required software reliability, it is going to have the value of 1.40. So all these are fixed. All these are the fixed values. All these are the constants. Then let us say if you are saying that whichever developers are working for that software, the programming language experience you want is, let us say, low. That means that this cost driver will have the value 1.07. Why? Because it is under low category. Fine. So based on the requirement, you can take the value. Maybe possible that they can give the values also, or they can make it general. How it is going to make the general, that we'll see. So the project manager is going to rate these 15 different parameters. Right? So who is going to decide that what is the requirement of which parameter and up to how much extent? That is going to be decided by project manager. And so project manager is going to decide all these 15 parameters. Fine. So what is, for example, memory constraint is low, very low, high, very high, or what? Fine. So that is going to be decided by project manager, and based on which these values are decided. And so project manager is going to decide these values or these 15 parameters or cost drivers. And here, particular project on the scale of 1 to 3. So it is going to decide based on 1 to 3. Let us say whether it is 1, 2, or 3. How it is that we'll discuss later. That how this 1 to 3 is important. And then depending on these ratings, appropriate cost drivers values are taken from this table. And generally, you are having this 5 things are there. So here may be possible that this is 1 to 5, not 1 to 3, because here you're going to scale it in the range of very low to very high. And these 15 values are then multiplied to calculate EAF. So you all need to note down this point, that let us say you are deciding all these values. Let us say software application database size is very high. That means that the value for it is 1.6. If you are saying that memory constraint is, let us say, low, for example. So you can say that for that, no values are there, you can skip it. Wherever you are having no values, that means that you can ignore that part. If you're saying that memory constraint is nominal, then you're going to consider 1.00. So this way, all the values will be provided. That means that all these ratings will be provided to you. And then after deciding all the values for all these 15 parameters, you need to multiply. Fine. Just small example. If I'm saying that for cost drivers, the importance or the scaling is nominal. Scaling is nominal. That means what? For all cost drivers, scaling is nominal. That means what? I need to consider the nominal values for all these 15 parameters. Fine. So what I will do, I will take all these 15 values and I will multiply it and I will get one value. So all are having value 1. The result value will be also 1. That because all are having 1, and the value that you will get, that is known as EAF, effort adjustment factor. Fine. That is effort adjustment factor, and that you are going to use in this formula. Fine. So this table, in short, from this table you can find out one value, that is EAF, and that is based on different 15 factors or parameters. Those parameters are going to be decided by project manager or software manager. And after taking the ratings and all, you are going to multiply all those 15 values and you will get EAF, and that you are going to use in this formula. Fine. So here, this is similar, that is A into KOC raised to B, that is similar to this one. This one, A into KLOC raised to B. You are just adding one more thing in that formula, that is EAF, and that EAF is that effort little bit more accurate compared to the previous one. Fine. Why? Because we are considering all these 15 factors also, not only KLOC but also these 15 factors. That is the reason that this EAF is making your effort estimation more accurate compared to your basic COCOMO model. and these values are also different. Categorizing the software in this category is same. Let's say if you are saying that the experience you require in the developers is very, let us say, nominal, the size is very small, and you have already worked on that kind of project, so you can say that that can be categorized under organic. Right? So categorization is same, just the values are going to differ. Fine. So here you are having only this single formula A, where you are having only two constants A and B. These are the values that you can use. Fine. So now, okay, before that, up to this, anybody need doubt? Okay, why there is blank somewhere? Parthiv is having one doubt that why it is blank somewhere. Okay. So, for example, here, with respect to size of application database, if it is very low, you can ignore it. You can ignore that parameter. Same way, hardware constraint, wherever it is very low or low, you can ignore that kind of parameters or that kind of constraint. That is why it is, you can say that for the kind of category, or let us say if you are saying that the course drivers which are having constraint, like let us say very low, for few course drivers you can ignore it. There is a reason that for, let us say, a runtime performance, for very low and low you can ignore it. Same, for example, memory constraint is very low or low, you can ignore it. That is not applicable. And that is the reason that few fields or few parameters are having blank here. Because for those kind of category based software or those kind of constraints or course drivers, you can ignore it. There is a reason that for few places it is blank. That means that it is not applicable for that category for those parameters. And for example, if I'm saying that memory constraint is very low, you can ignore it. If I'm saying that, let us say, virtual machine experience should be very high, you can simply ignore it. And that is why, that is the reason that you can ignore few constraints, few parameters for certain category or certain importance or scale. Okay, fine. So up to this, anybody any doubt? Anyone, any doubt, any query? Okay, volatility and virtual machine course drivers means, okay. Let us go to that. Okay, here volatility of virtual machine environment. That means that how much volatile your, let us say for example, nowadays what we all are doing, let us say whenever any big company is creating different kind of softwares and they are going to provide, let us say, different services online, then they are going to take the help of virtual machines. Find their servers where they are going to have, they are going to load the programming or different kind of functions modules. They can have different kind of, let us say, different interfaces there. Fine. So they're taking the help of virtual machines. Now, how much volatile your software will be, where it is very much volatile. Let us say if you sometimes, if the load is increasing, whenever you are using any application or let us say any software, at certain point of time, the load will be high. At that time, you can say that you require virtual machines at very high constraint, or you are going to require, let us say, different kind of processing capabilities and storage capabilities very high. Sometimes maybe possible that very few users are going to use your application or software, and almost zero load will be there on your server or your virtual machine. So whether it is this kind of flexibility are very much frequent in your software, or you're going to have almost constant kind of load. That is the kind of volatility of virtual machine environment. Like for example, if you are saying that, let us consider the example of Amazon. Fine. So regular basis, number of users which are using that application will be almost same on daily basis. If you consider certain applications, just take the example of Let us say the application which is dealing with online stock market, for example. Fine, just let us say Kite or Zerodha or Grow, for example. So during daytime, their load will be very high. On night time, it is very low. So you can say that volatility of this kind of software is very high, whereas the volatility of Amazon kind of application is very low, you can say. But that is the volatility of virtual machine environment. And if you are saying that in your software you do not require virtual machine and volatility is going to be very low, so you can simply ignore it and you can have no values for it. And that is the volatility of the virtual machine. Yes, like YouTube. Yes. So you can say that YouTube is having, okay, what will be the volatility of YouTube? It is very low or very high? Very high. Okay, so just simple, take one example. For example, YouTube users who are using the YouTube, it is varying or it is almost constant. It is varying. So for example, in India, if you consider the example of India, time is different. In foreign countries also time is different. So mostly we are using YouTube daytime, in daytime. In night time, we are not, users will decrease. Number of users who are accessing the YouTube will be decreasing. So you can say that on daytime it is high or number of users are high. On night time it is low. Fine. So on daytime, say that the volatility is low on daytime. In daytime, volatility is low because number of users will be almost constant. In night time, if you consider, let us say entire 24 hours, then you can say that it is the volatility is high because daytime very high, nighttime very low. Fine. So few applications will be there which will be having almost constant users, or let us say interfaces are there which are dealing with it. So if you consider the entire example, let us say if you are saying that one software is there and which is having only single server and that software is used by users in entire world. Fine. So if number of users are constant throughout the, let us say, daytime or month time, then you can say that volatility is very low because number of users are constant. The requirement or the access to that server virtual machine is constant. If it is constant, then you can say that volatility is very low. If it is going on peak and low, or it is having ups and downs, so many ups and downs, you can say that it is having very much high volatility. And that is the volatility of virtual machine. Okay, fine. So I hope it is clear. Okay, fine. So up to this, everyone, all of you clear about this? Okay, fine. So let us see one example based on this. And for that, we will consider the tutorial from GTU, data that we are having from GTU that we'll consider, so that you can have idea that how the question can be. And so all can use pen and paper for this. These are fixed value fixed. Yes, those are fixed values. It is not going to change. Whenever you want to find out the EAF at the time, you need to refer the table, and for that table, those values will remain fixed. Just you need to decide that for different 15 factors, based on its importance level or scaling, what value you need to consider. Fine. So that table will remain same. And we are discussing right now from previous lab itself, we are discussing different fundamentals for this third tutorial. So we had gone through the basic COCOMO model. Now we are discussing the intermediate COCOMO model. So this is the adjustment effort estimation, that is EF, that we had discussed. And this is the initial effort estimation, that is effort that we are calculating. And so for basic COCOMO model, EF will not be applied. In that you are only having this initial estimation, initial effort estimation. Fine. So we will get the answers. We will find the answer for all these questions after going through one example. So first of all, under which category we had categorized this software in previous lab? We had the answer for one question, that is type of software. So based on this description, we had categorized this software, and that was under organic, semi-detached, or embedded. You can refer your previous sessions notes if you are having it. Semi-detached, yes. So as you can see, you can also go through the description. For example, they are saying that this is mega project. That simply means that it is not organic. Why? Because in organic kind of software, the project size will be small. So it is mega project. The size is larger compared to the organic. Then goal of this project is to create database of Hindi films released since 2000, and software would allow one to generate list of 10 hit films, 10 flop films, and best comedy films. And using your prior experience, that means that you have already worked on that kind of project. Right? So using your prior experience, that means that you have already experience on developing that kind of software. That means that it is not new to you. If it is new to you, that means that you can categorize it in embedded. They are mentioning that as per your prior experience, you are coming up with all these estimations. That means that you already worked on that kind of project. So it is not embedded. It is neither organic nor embedded. It is semi-detached. That is the reason you can categorize this software under semi-detached kind of software. Fine. So the type is fixed. You are having these things, but that we'll discuss later on. Just consider these points. Okay, let me share the entire screen so that you can note down different things based on or using that table. Okay, Parthiv is having one question, that is it possible in real time that all the parameters are applicable equally to the project which have the same complexity? Yes, that is possible. That is possible, Parthiv. What can happen? Let us say if I'm saying that for example, if I want to use intermediate model, and if I'm saying that the scaling is, let us say, nominal for all cost drivers. Fine. So what do you mean by that term? That also we'll discuss, Parthiv. Fine. So in this sum itself, there is a small portion on that we'll discuss. So right now, let me share the screen. So we are having this table right now, and we need to use this formula. And so first, KLOC is required, values for AB required, and EF is required. And for that, you need to first of all decide that whether your project is organic, semi-detached, or embedded. That we already identified that this software is under type semi-detached. Fine. So we are having values of A and B now. And EF, effort adjustment factor, and KLOC. Let us assume the KLOC. Let us assume that say KLOC equal to, let us say, 50. And type of the software is, let us say, semi-detached. Get the effort equation is A into KLOC rest to B into EF, effort adjustment factor. And from that table, we have derived that the value of A is 3, value of B is 1.12. And KLOC is also given, that is, let us say, 50. And so we need to find out the value of EF now. And value of EF, that is the multiplication of all those 15 factors, all those 15 parameters. How can you derive this? This can be derived. How can you derive the type? You can derive the type from that description. Then KLOC will be given to you. Now AB value, you need to remember that table. Maybe possible that they can give, maybe possible that they cannot give. Not sure. Because I think this is the first time you will be having the paper of some software engineering subject that is updated syllabus, with respect to updated syllabus, because in previous it was having some old syllabus. And so EF value we need to find out, and EF is nothing but multiplication of the coast drivers, all 15 coast drivers. So for that you can simply refer this data. So what they are doing here, they are giving us this kind of ratings or scalings, like storage constraints, it is low. For this, okay, all of you first of all focus here that how you need to decide the value. Fine. So storage constraint is low, so you can refer that table. Storage constraint, you need to find out the storage constraint. That is memory constraint. Storage constraint or memory constraint both are same. Now it is the rating or scaling is low. That means that the value for it will be, there is no value. That means you can ignore it. Next, experience in developing similar software is very high. Experience in developing similar software is very high. So for that, applications experience, personal attribute, applications experience, it is very high. Sorry, it is high, not very high. It is high. So you can say that, yes, second last value is for high. Application experience, it is very high. That means you can consider this 0.91. So you are having one, okay, total 5 factors are given here. So let us say 1 is not applicable, next is 0.91 into not applicable means you need to ignore it. Fine. So just mentioning it as NA. That is for 0.91 is for second course driver given to us based on its rating scaling. Then programming capabilities of developers, it is very high. Programming capabilities of developer, that is this programming language experience, and that is high. That is also the second last value, that is 0.95. And the fourth constraint or fourth course driver given to us is application of software engineering methods. Application of software engineering methods, it is high. Yes, here it is. Application of software engineering method. And it is having the rating high. So you can consider 0.91. 0.91 for it. Next constraint given to us is use of software tools is also high. That means that you need to use so many software tools for it. So use of software tools also very high. This is it. Use of software tools, it is very high. So again, it is 0.91. Fine. So 5 constraints they are giving to us. And based on the scaling given to us, we have decided the values also based on the table. Total, we are having how many course drivers? 15. We are having total 15 course drivers. What about other 10? For that, one more line is mentioned here. All other course drivers have nominal rating. That means that for rest of 10 course drivers, let us see that what value you are having for nominal. So as you can see here that for nominal rating or scaling, you are having 1 in all the drivers. Fine, so rest will be 1. Fine, so 1 10 times. Just writing for you can also mention it separate in separate line that for as it is given that normal rating is given for all normal rating is given for all other course drivers, you are going to consider 1 and multiplying it here. Right? So whether you are going to consider this or not, you will get the same answer. Right? So not applicable, you need to ignore it. And you just need to multiply all these values and you will get EAF value, effort adjustment factor value. So 0.91 into 0.95 into 0.91 into 0.91. Just find it out and give the answer. Okay. Harshit is having one more question. Okay, Harshit, I will take your question query later. First of all, let me take the query for Parthiv. So as here they are mentioning that all other course drivers have nominal rating. Same way, if in exam they are giving that consider course drivers have nominal rating. All course drivers have nominal rating. That means what? EF will be 1 because all are having 1 rating, all are having 1 value. So you will be having multiplication. You need to multiply all those 1. You will be getting 1. Right? So you will be having 1. You are having 1 here. And to calculate EF, you need to multiply all these course drivers. That is already, I think, mentioned somewhere. Just a minute. Yes, here it is mentioned that these 15 values are then multiplied to calculate EF. Fine. So you just need to first identify the values. After identifying the values for all these course drivers, just multiply it and you will get the answer for EF. And so what value you are getting here? 0.7158. This is the value of EF. Now simply put the values into formula, you will get the answer. Let us say here you are having 3 into p raised to 1.12 into 0.7158 1.69. So person month. Don't miss this unit. 171.69, this is the answer. Okay, fine. This is the effort that you are getting. Okay, now let me take your query. Okay, Harshit is saying that can it not be embedded type of uh, software, because in question it is given two words. First, mega project, and second, have the project prior experience. So in embedded experts. Okay, just a minute. Let me clear that point again, Harshit. Just a minute. Okay, I think it is visible. Yes. So why it is semi-detached? Why it is not embedded? So first, it is mega project. And that means that it is not organic. There is a one thing. Now from this line, using your prior experience, this is not, this line is not saying that it requires very high experience. This line is saying that as or using your prior experience, that means that you have already worked on it. So okay, let us try to understand this whole line. Using your prior experience, you have decided the approximate sizes of different modules which can be there in that software. So you are saying that data entry can have this many line of code, then data update can have this many line of code, query can have this many line of code, report generation and display this can have this many line of code. So this line is saying that you have already worked on that software, and based on your prior experience, you are deciding that different modules will be having this sizes. Fine. So KDSI is nothing but KLOC. Kilo deliverable or delivered source instructions. That is KDSI. That is also KLOC. Right. So this is saying that you have already worked on that kind of software, or that kind of application or software that you are going to develop. Based on that, you are deciding this thing. In embedded, what will be there? It will be new to you. Right? That kind of software is going to be new to you. It is very complex, and you have not worked on it. It is going to have, let us say, so many features which are very new, and it is going to require very much highly experienced people to deal with it. Fine. So it's not new to you. On many software you have worked, and based on your experience, you are deciding these things. If they are mentioning that this project is new to you, then you can say that, or they can also mention that you have not worked on that kind of software, you are not having experience in building or developing that kind of software, then you can say that that is embedded. Fine. So that is why we are categorizing it under semi detached and not embedded. Fine. So yes, thank you so much for the response, Harshit. Okay, so all are getting the answer. 171.69. Those who are online, all are getting the same answer, all of you? Okay, great. Then, so this is how you can calculate effort using this intermediate COCOMO model. Fine. So let us keep up to this only for this lab and this lab. Okay, you have assumed the KLOC as 50. Yes, that is just a random value. In exam, it will be given to you. Here we have just taken 50 KLOC just for our reference, just to calculate this sum. In exam, it will be given to you. Okay, just a minute. Under intermediate, under this intermediate. Okay. Okay, so again, please remember this constant. May be possible that it can be there or it cannot be not be there in your exam in question paper. Fine, so let us do one more sum based on it and then we'll wind up. So right now, let us compare the model. This we had calculated effort that we are having here, that we are calculating using intermediate model. Now take the same KLOC and same type. This we had calculated using intermediate model for now using basic COCOMO model, use the same data. Here the effort will be having only this, not EF. And get the answer. And just compare that what will happen if you just consider KLOC and what will happen if you are also considering EF. And so I'm also showing you the table for this constants so that you can put it here in the formula. This is the table for it. Fine, so it is semi-detached and we need to calculate effort only. So 3 and 1.12. Again, it is here the difference that you will have will be only of this value here. Rest will remain same. So that is 350 plus 2, 1.12, 239.85. Fine. So if you are just finding out the effort required based on basic and intermediate, this is the difference. The value you are getting here is 1.1. Here you are getting 239. This kind of difference you can have. Right? So you can say that basic COCOMO model from base. If you just use basic COCOMO model, you can say that it is showing that you need more effort. Here it is going to be a bit more accurate estimation because you are also considering EF here. Remain same. This will value remain same. Only due to this EF, those 15 factors, this value is changing. Effort is changing. There is a difference between two models. Okay. Yes, that is a previous question. Fine. So based on this single EF, entire estimation is changing. Otherwise, this portion is same for both intermediate as well as basic. This will remain same, only you are multiplying this value and you are getting totally different estimation. So let us keep up to this only, and in next lab we will see two things. First we will see the detailed COCOMO model or complete COCOMO model, both are same, and then we will solve that sum tutorial that is given to us. Okay, fine. So just let me take the attendance just a minute. Starting with Dirgha. Dirgha.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Then Shilpi.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Kishan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Kushal.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dipen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Keyur.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sanjana.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Keyur.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Niyati.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Henil. Not responding, Disha.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Miloni. Not responding, Nupur. Thank you, then Suhasini Ba. Thank you, then Parthiv.
Yes, sir.
Not responding, Harshjit Singh. Thank you, then Yashpal Singh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Parthiv is there. Thank you, Parthiv. And Jay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, then Nishtha.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dhairya.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mitul. Not responding, Mihir. Not responding, Abhishek.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Amod Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Avinash. Thank you, and Harshit.
Present, sir.
Okay, anybody left?
Yes, sir. 23 roll number.
What is your name?
Miloni.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, done.
Yeah, thank
Anybody
you.
else left? And thank you so much, all of you.